Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. This is the podcast where we watch episodes of the hit TV series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so we can have the experience of spandex-clad teenagers punching both monster suits and our nostalgia in the face, and then we can relate that experience to you afterwards by talking about it. My name is Matt.
Michael's
here. Welcome to the show, episode 101. We're going to be watching The Wedding Part 1 today. Very exciting. Some status quo changes, finally, for the show.
Yep. Someone's getting married.
Someone's getting married, that's right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to be good to have a change on the show. It's been a bit stale for a while.
It has.
So, good to move past that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say anything like this show is terrible when it's the same thing every week.
Yes.
But, boy, is it rough to watch.
It is rough to watch. We don't have a guest here today.
No, we don't.
Michael just looked at the space where a guest might sometimes be.
There's some microphone boxes.
They can't speak, so...
I hope not.
Well, if they could, we'd have a very interesting interview on our hands.
We definitely have to change the tone of the podcast pretty dramatically.
That's right. But that's not what this is.
No.
So since this episode is called The Wedding, Michael,
Yep.
why don't we talk about weddings?
Sure, let's talk about some weddings.
Have you been to a wedding?
Not really.
You haven't been to a wedding?
Not, like, as an adult.
Really?
Yeah, none of my friends are married yet. Or, like, some people I went to high school with are married.
Yeah.
But no one who I was close enough to invite me to their wedding.
Okay.
And none of my close uni friends are married. Most of my close uni friends are gay and can't be married.
Hopefully that'll be not the case soon in Australia.
I mean, certainly. But I don't know.
I feel like given our circle of friends, when gay marriage becomes a thing...
Oh, God, we'll be going to, like, a marriage every 2 days.
Yeah, we're going to have a packed calendar. We're going to need to buy a suit. Okay, so you've only really been to weddings as a child?
Yeah, like I went to, family weddings as a child.
Sure.
And then my mother and stepfather got married maybe 7 years ago, something like that.
Oh, that's not too long ago.
But, like, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
I've never been to, like, a wedding that was just Michael's invited and...
Yeah. All right. So do you look fondly upon weddings?
I don't dislike weddings. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have many wedding experiences, but I certainly don't have any issues with weddings either.
Okay. That's cool.
What about you? I know you went to, like, 3 weddings in 4 weeks or something earlier this year, didn't you?
Yeah, those were all my girlfriend Sarah's friends.
Yep.
But I like a wedding.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of, like, very religious weddings.
Really, Matt? I would not have guessed that about you.
Like, I'm certainly becoming more open to, like, spiritual things.
Sure.
Than I was.
Do you mean, like, ghosts?
That's right.
Right.
Specifically ghosts.
Ghost weddings?
Yeah. That doesn't mean that I don't think they should be busted, but...
Sure. Because busting makes you feel good.
It does. It just makes you feel good. That's all there is to it. But yeah, so, like, very dogmatic religious weddings, both because they make me uncomfortable, but also just because they're also the boring ones, generally.
Sure, yep.
Yeah, I like unique weddings where you can tell that the person officiating the ceremony has a personal connection with the people there, and it's not just a celebrant who's reading off their usual script. But yeah, I think, like, ceremonies, when done well, are really moving and sweet.
Yep.
And I love a reception because I love a party. And because weddings are a really good excuse for people to have a good time, and, like, no one's self-conscious, no one's trying to be cool at a wedding. Everyone there is dorky, and you can just have a dorky good time.
Yep.
You can...
That's our favourite kind of good time.
Absolutely.
As you may have guessed, podcast listeners.
You can have a drink, and you can, do the hokey pokey or whatever, and you have a good time.
I don't like the hokey pokey.
But, Michael, that's what it's all about.
So I've heard. It's just the turning yourself around that I'm not a fan of.
Okay. Yeah. You're all about the status quo.
Yep. Just the way it is.
Oh, dear.
I don't like songs with dances attached. I don't like the Macarena. I don't like the Nutbush. I don't like the Time Warp.
Ah, why not?
Because I don't like dances. And I especially don't like dances that are like, here are the steps to the dance. If you don't know the steps to the dance, just figure it out.
But I feel like that's they're beneficial for people like us. Because it's not like, okay, dance to the music. They give you instructions that you can follow.
Yeah, here's the deal, right?
Yeah.
I don't like dancing. I'm not
Okay.
a dancing person, which I'm sure does not come as a surprise to anyone listening
Definitely
to this.
not.
Even if this is your first episode of the podcast. So the thing is, when it's just like music playing,
Yeah.
you can stand off to the side and go, I'm not really a dancer, that's fine. When a dance with like steps, everyone goes, come on, you know this. Yeah, I do know it. I just... My dancing is not like I don't know the steps to a regular person dancing.
Yeah.
It's I don't get any joy out of dancing.
I definitely think there's a connection between you not enjoying dancing and you not drinking alcohol.
Absolutely. Guaranteed 100%.
I think if we were to get sort of 4 or 5 drinks into you,
I would be dead.
you would be dead. You'd definitely not be dead. You'd be down doing the nut bush on the dance floor. Absolutely.
I think I would be unconscious pretty quickly.
That's not how that works. Like,
Yep.
just because you
5
have...
drinks after having never had a drink.
That's not... No. Like,
Yep.
you're
Dead.
like me. You've got a bit of mass
It's like
on your frame.
It's like Red Bull. Did you hear about that woman who drank like 28 Red Bulls?
Yeah, but that's insane.
Yeah, that's right. It's insane.
That's not comparable.
Yep.
There's no...
That's right.
There's no...
It's
Like,
insane, listeners.
no. That's not how that works. Anyway, one day we'll get you drunk and you'll be dancing to the nut bush is the point of this story.
I'm just trying to think if we've had anyone on the podcast who's married. I don't actually think we have.
I mean, like, there's lots we don't know. Like, Matt from Super
Matt
Sentai
from
Brothers
Super Sentai
may be
Brothers.
married. I have no idea.
Yeah, I believe he mentioned that he has a wife.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, it's possible.
Yep.
I can't think of anyone else. None of our close friends are married.
No,
I don't
because
think.
we'd have been to those weddings.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. You make a compelling argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. I've got one other question I want to ask about weddings.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on themed weddings?
I like them.
Yeah?
Like, I'm of the opinion, and Sarah is the one that really brought me around to this notion, that a wedding should be a reflection of the people getting married.
Sure.
Regardless of whether you like it or you think it's cool.
Yeah.
One of the weddings we went to recently was one of Sarah's friends, and the whole thing was a fiasco.
Right.
In like, it was very dramatic. The bride was fretting over everything.
Did anything actually go wrong, like,
Oh, no.
publicly, or was it
Not
just...
really. It's just...
behind the scenes and-
it was a rainy day and they had to move inside.
Okay,
and,
yep.
Lots of bits and pieces.
But
and-
it wasn't like someone said, I object.
Oh,
and
no.
People got into
Nothing.
a fist fight, and it wasn't like a fiasco.
Nothing like that. It's just like she made it a fiasco. And I was a bit shitty. No, I mean, not shitty. That's a bit strong, but I was a bit like, ugh, this is kind of lame. But so Sarah expressed to me the fact that that's who she was as a person. And there's
Right.
something beautiful about...
A disaster.
Not disaster, but like everything...
Stressful.
Everything is like highly strung.
Yep.
You know? There's something beautiful about a wedding being representative of a person in that way.
Yep.
So yeah, like if you live and breathe Star Wars and you want to have a Stormtrooper wedding, go ahead. That's cool by me, man.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I dig it. I probably wouldn't have a themed wedding myself.
Yeah,
but,
I don't... my feeling on those is kind of like my feeling on tattoos.
Yeah.
There's just... I can't really think of anything that I feel strongly enough about.
Yeah.
That I want, like... Every time I talk about my wedding for the next 60 or 80 years, or however long it is,
Yep.
I have to go like, yeah, this was my Power Rangers wedding.
Yeah. Well, I certainly wouldn't do it for Power Rangers. Sorry, listeners, if that disappoints you at all. But I understand what you're saying on the tattoo thing, but I also am of the opinion that, like, if you be like that your whole life, you end up not committing to anything.
Sure.
So I think you should endeavour...
To get a tattoo, is that what you're saying?
Well, look, I'm going to be getting one shortly.
Oh, are you?
But, yeah, did we not talk about that?
I don't think we did.
About how, like, for ages I've had an idea for a tattoo, but I've never settled on how to do it, and I didn't want to do it until I got it right.
Is it a giant Megazord on your back?
That's
covering
right.
your back?
Yeah, it's just going to be Jason David Frank's head on my back. Modern Jason David Frank, like with the spikes and the goatee.
Oh, I assume on your chest will be 1990s Jason David
That's
Frank.
right, so I can flip around. I have the best of both worlds.
It should be his 1990s face on your front and the
Yep.
Green Ranger helmet on your back.
Yep.
So when you spin really fast,
I can
it
just
looks like
morph.
you're morphing.
Yeah, love it. Of course, like, if I'm spinning, I'd be morphing back very fast, which is just confusing.
Please don't get that tattoo, anyone who's listening.
Or if you do, I am sorry. I apologise for what we've said.
Oh boy.
It's like, you're like the Star Trek captain lady at Supernova.
Yeah.
Michael and I have been to the Supernova convention in Sydney a few times. And
Many times, I think, yeah.
You've gone more than I have.
Yes.
And there's a lady there who has, God bless her, the 4 of the Star Trek captains.
I think it's like Picard and Kirk and Spock or something like that, maybe.
I feel like there's someone else's. Maybe the guy from Deep Space Nine? I don't know.
I don't know his name either.
Anyway,
So I'm not
it's
doing
just
a Star
it's
Trek
just
podcast.
an intense thing to see. Every time I see it, I'm a little shocked by it because it's people's faces, very
people's
big and just
faces
there.
is very,
That's cool. So yeah, do what you want with your life.
Yeah.
Is the message this episode of the Ranger Danger podcast.
if you've had a fun wedding experience,
Yeah.
send us an email.
Absolutely.
Especially if you've been to a Power Rangers wedding or a wedding that was at least like slightly Power Rangers themed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You know what would be cool? Rather than a Power Rangers wedding, I think a Super Sentai wedding would be pretty baller.
oh, absolutely, because you'd ride up on like a motorcycle and there'd be a gravestone with a flip top head. That's a little morbid.
And you could have, because it's so broad, you had someone from Jetman there and...
Do you think anyone's got a company president gravestone?
But what does his gravestone even say? It's not very...
Miklium. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
It's not actually English.
Yeah.
And it's not Japanese either. It's like...
Yeah. It's the Japanese version of when people get Asian characters on their tattoos and they don't know what it
Yeah,
says.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's just letters.
It's one of those things where like they probably didn't want to offend anyone by having like it be a gravestone with their grandfather's name or anything.
Yeah.
So it's just a random
Nonsense.
assembly of letters. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a Super Sentai wedding would be a bit more fun because it has license to be a bit zanier and crazier.
Sure.
And you could have crazy J-pop hairstyles and stuff and it would be sort of still in keeping sort of with the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well,
weddings.
neither of us are going to have that wedding, but
No.
if you do, invite us.
Yeah, we'd love to come. Send us an email. We'll be your podcasters for the ceremony.
Oh, we could live. I'd love to live podcast from a wedding.
That would be pretty great. I mean, it'll be confusing for all of the guests of the wedding who don't listen to our show.
Yeah, but that's free listeners.
It's very mercenary of you.
At the very least, they're going to listen to that episode.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, if you're having a wedding,
And for some bizarre reason, you want 2 Australian podcasters there.
let us know. We'll figure it out. There's probably an industry in that we can create ourselves. Wedding podcasters.
Yeah, you do one a week leading up to the big day.
Yeah, it takes off, and then in 5 years, Owen Wilson plays one of us.
Well, in wedding podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd be Owen Wilson and you'd be Vince Vaughn. I mean, that seems pretty clear to me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how that
Do I
goes.
have to be Vince Vaughn?
Well, you kind of do.
5 years from now, Vince
Yeah.
Vaughn. 5 years from now, Vince Vaughn's going to be like 80.
That's a bit unfair. Michael, he's so hot right now. He's on True Detective.
Yeah, but apparently he's not very good.
Yeah, I did hear that. But he was in that movie about Google.
Which also was apparently actually worse than True Detective.
It wasn't that bad.
Really?
It wasn't great. But, I didn't hate it.
Should we have a Vince Vaughn podcast?
No, definitely not.
I feel like there'd be lots more anger than happiness.
Probably. I mean, there's Anchorman. And Anchorman 2. Dodgeball. I like Dodgeball.
Yeah, okay, but here's the problem.
Yeah.
Dodgeball's the peak.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's another decade of Vince Vaughn movies.
He did do a lot of shit with Adam Sandler. So, pretty sure. Isn't he in, those movies where they just hang out and go to the beach?
I don't think so.
Grown Ups. He's not in Grown Ups?
No, I think that's Adam Sandler,
Yep.
David Spade,
Yep.
Rob Schneider,
Yep.
and
Vince Vaughn.
I want to say Chris Rock.
Okay. Look it up. I want to see if he is in...
I'm going to go to
Grown Ups.
IMDb. There's a thing where you can search 2 actors and
Yep.
see what they've been in together.
Okay.
So,
If he's not in Grown Ups, I feel like I should write him a letter of apology, because that's slanderous.
you've been thinking he's been in Grown
I've
Up.
defamed him. That would be very cruel of me, yeah. Alright, so Michael's doing the IMDbing. How's it looking?
I don't know yet. Hold on.
Drum roll. Is he in Grown Ups 2? More waiting.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
The problem is a lot of the things that they share on IMDb are like TV shows that they were both on at different times.
Right, I
Like
see.
they've both been on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. So is every person.
It does not look like they share any films.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I have wronged Vince Vaughn. He's not as bad as I thought if he's not in Grown Ups.
No one's ever said that about Vince Vaughn before.
He's not that bad. He does what he does well.
Okay, well, this has certainly been a weird podcast opening.
No, I think it's good. I like ones like this.
All right, so let's watch The Wedding Part 1.
Yeah, let's see if Vince Vaughn's in it.
Wouldn't it be good if Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson crashed this wedding?
Yeah. I love seeing actors show up in stuff when you're not expecting them to.
I don't think Vince Vaughn's ever going to show up in Power Rangers.
Probably not. But I was watching Sports Night with Sarah last night,
Yep.
which is a fantastic Aaron Sorkin, late 90s sitcom.
Yep.
And, oh God, I forgot his name. But he plays a character in The Flash, in the wheelchair guy. And he's also JD's brother in Scrubs.
Oh, Ed.
Yeah. Yeah.
From TV's Ed.
Yeah.
Whose name is Ed.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But he just showed up in Sports Night. I was like,
Oh, right,
that's
yep.
cool. And we started watching Sports Night, and we started watching Wet Hot American Summer.
Right.
And I'm having a terrible day for names.
That's
Michael.
fine. Describe.
One of the two leads of Sports Night, not
Yeah.
Peter Krauser,
The other one.
the other one was in Wet Hot American Summer.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is really weird. Everyone's crossing over. Good story, Matt.
That's not going to happen to us with Power Rangers for 10 years.
No.
Until we start hitting the ones where they've got Australians on them.
Yep.
And some of those Australians have gone on to be successful.
Or some of them we see at Centrelink and stuff like that.
Wouldn't it be great if we just bumped into a Power... I mean, statistically,
Yeah.
it's not impossible that we could bump into a Power Ranger at the shops.
Definitely not, no. I mean, we probably live in the wrong suburbs. You definitely live in the wrong suburbs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You could bump into a Power Ranger at the shops.
If I move to Bondi, I feel like chances are very high. If I move to New Zealand, even more so.
Lots of Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm. They're everywhere, man.
I mean, I don't think they're everywhere.
That's true. Probably none in
Antarctica.
Antarctica. Yeah. No Power Rangers in Antarctica. Underrepresented.
Yeah. No, never been a penguin Power Ranger.
No.
I don't know there's ever even been a penguin Zord.
No, of course there hasn't been a penguin Zord. Why would you have a penguin Zord?
Why wouldn't you have a penguin Zord? Penguins are rad.
They're classy and stylish. They're not,
Matt,
attack
Matt,
animals.
there's been a giant robot turtle. Are you telling me that a penguin would be ridiculous?
I would much rather fight a penguin than a turtle.
Are we assuming that they're giant size, or are you fighting a regular sized penguin?
Either way.
And a regular sized turtle.
Either way, I
'Cause
feel...
if they're regular sized, you're gonna look like an asshole.
Yeah. Well, look, even if they're giant-sized, it's still a penguin or a turtle. I probably still look like a dick if I'm punching it. Because they're probably being really nice. And it's just me, punching their ankles.
Oh boy. Remember when we started this talking about weddings?
Yeah. I love this podcast.
Yeah, alright, let's watch The Wedding Part 1.
Yep.
Someone's getting married,
Yeah.
and I guess we'll be back in a sec.
See you guys. Well, I was not expecting that.
That was amazing.
From top to bottom, I was
At
shocked.
least, look, I knew Rita was coming back.
Yep.
And I knew she was going to use a love potion to get Lord Zedd to fall in love with her.
Yep.
Everything else was a surprise, and just a glorious surprise after amazing surprise.
Yeah, everything about this episode kind of hits you in the face of because it's been so stale and samey for so long.
Yeah.
And then this is just new thing, new thing, new thing.
Even the change up of Lord Zedd's here.
Yeah.
Every week is still the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's just someone different is doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like that episode when they went to the planet in space.
Yeah.
It's so completely off the wall, insane, different.
It feels like a new show.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So will we take it from the top?
Yes.
So Kaplan is in their high school class.
Yep.
And he's announcing that Angel Grove High have been picked as teen exchange speakers.
Yep.
To represent the US in Australia.
Angel Grove High.
Yep.
Do they have incredible marks or something? Because they seem to be selected for all of the shit, right?
All of the stuff that sends you to another country.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no explanation of what that means, or if there's
Oh, there's not going to be.
but there's not there's a thing you're going to, or anything like that.
They just get to go and hang out in Australia for a bit.
With Bulk and Skull for some inexplicable reason.
Who knows?
All of a sudden, a City Rail train.
Yeah, so City Rail is what used to be Sydney's national train.
Yeah.
This is a weird, especially for us, a weird scene, because in the universe of the show, this is the Angel Grove train station.
Yes.
And they're on the way to the airport.
Yes.
But for us, we know that scene is actually in Australia right now.
They're at Central Station.
Yeah. So they're in Australia talking about going to the airport to go to Australia, it's just a weird sensation for me. But it was like shocking for both Michael and I immediately to suddenly be thrown into a place where we know those trains.
Yeah.
We know where that seat is,
Yeah.
And then in a few minutes later, they're at Circular Quay, like on the harbour in Sydney.
Yep.
Literally 10 minutes walk from where I work.
Yep.
And there's a significant portion of the episode there.
They'd be right outside where Sarah's working at the moment, wouldn't they?
Not too far, yeah. Probably 2 minutes walk
Yeah,
from
they're
there.
just...
Yeah.
They're in a place that I have been many times in my life.
Absolutely.
And it's
Jarring?
absolutely jarring.
Yeah.
Especially because I was not expecting it at all.
No, not me either.
Even when Kaplan said, like, you've been selected to go to a thing in Australia, I was like, okay, that'll happen next week, maybe.
Yeah.
I was not expecting the next
Like, smash
scene
cut.
they're in Australia.
Yeah.
So Ernie's at the train station with them.
Yep.
And he's telling the Rangers that they should look after Bulk and Skull, which I appreciate, but also, who sent Bulk and Skull?
But why is there not a teacher going with
Why
them?
does it appear to be 8 unsupervised, like 16, 17-year-olds?
Flying to the other side of the world by themselves?
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So I guess Ernie's in the movie.
Yes.
Okay, because
I believe so.
Because he's in Australia, even
Yes.
though in the universe that's not Australia.
Yes.
He's
I
clearly
believe
here.
Ernie is in like a scene or two in the film. So
It's cool that they flew into Australia for that.
yeah, it is. It's
Like
nice.
they probably didn't need to have Ernie in the movie. You know?
No. So Zordon has luckily informed the Rangers
Yes.
that their trip coincides with Lord Zedd's 100-year recharge.
Yeah,
Which is something that happens every 100 years,
Yep.
not for 100 years.
that's right. Sadly,
Yeah.
they could have taken a while off if it was a
Yeah.
100-year sleep, but no.
Yeah, so luckily for them, and I say luckily loosely because they have teleporters.
Well, that's the thing. They keep saying, like, oh, it'd be really unfortunate if something happened and we had to go back to Angel Grove because we're travelling to Australia. But as they prove later on, it's no different.
It'd take a couple of hours out of their time in Australia, but they could go to Australia whenever they wanted as well.
Exactly. That's the thing. They don't really need an excuse to go to Australia if they have teleporters.
And, like, look, all due respect, I love Australia. I think
Yeah.
it is a great country, and genuinely, if you're thinking about it, come out and check it out. It is a great
Especially in
place.
summer. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've been to another planet.
Yeah.
Like...
It's not as cool as another planet.
Do you think Neil Armstrong, after he went to the moon, like, he went to other countries, and they're like, this is great, but I've been to the moon.
Yeah. I mean, Australia is just below the moon, I think.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. The moon, Australia, New Zealand, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know what's next.
Living in Australia, I probably wouldn't put Australia at the top. That's probably because I live here.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Canada's pretty cool.
probably.
Europe is pretty cool. Japan's pretty cool.
America's pretty cool.
America's pretty cool.
Everywhere's pretty cool.
South America's pretty cool. The world is pretty... The world's a cool place.
Even Antarctica, where Matt fights penguins.
That's right. So let's not get into rankings. You know?
Oh, boy.
Everywhere is cool to me, so...
So, Kimberly has heard that the stores are pretty incredible in Australia.
Yeah, what?
Is that a thing?
No.
I don't...
I don't think so.
Was it a thing 20 years ago?
Maybe, like, the exchange rate was different then, and it was a really good deal.
That's certainly possible. I mean,
But-
it would be right now.
It's not like, I think she'd be much better so going to New York or Tokyo.
Yeah. So, Skull wonders if the train is going to take them all the way to Australia.
It's pretty funny.
It's not.
No.
That's not a thing we can do.
Yeah.
So, Lord Zedd has a look, and
Yeah.
he sees that the Rangers are taking a day off for a couple of weeks, or however long they're gone for.
Yeah.
And he's pretty angry because, this would be a great time to attack Angel Grove.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, aforementioned teleporters. Second of all, he's got, like, lieutenants.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason... I know Goldar is useless, but even Goldar with no Power Rangers there could surely fuck some shit up.
There again, it's that weird statement of like, oh, it's a situation I could take advantage of, but they can teleport.
Yep.
It's not actually a thing. It's not actually an opportunity.
They
in
can
the
get
way-
to any place instantly.
Yeah. So sure, you could send Goldar down, they'd teleport back. It'd be exactly like it normally would.
Them being in Australia is no different to them being at the shops.
No.
Or, like, in bed.
When you have a teleporter, you're the same distance from everywhere.
Last week it was time travel that this show didn't understand. This week it's teleportation. And I just got the weirdest deja vu.
Yeah?
I feel like we had a weird teleportation thing the last time we had a weird time travel thing.
I don't think so. I think you're just Tom Cruise's character from Edge of Tomorrow.
Cursed to relive this day.
The wedding part one over and over again.
That's worse than dying to giant monsters.
It definitely is. So Rita is flying through space in her space dumpster.
Yep.
Just chilling, as she does. And I guess she can steer it,
It's weird, isn't it?
because she appears to be sending it back towards the moon intentionally.
Because she can also, like, see out of it.
Yeah. And tell the time, because she knows it's Lord Zedd's 100-year sleep coming up.
Yeah.
So she lands on the moon, has a crash landing.
Yep.
It's a decent miniature photography of her.
Yeah, so she's been, like, composited
Yeah,
into
green
shots
screened.
of... Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's not, there's a lot of...
It's definitely better than that shot where she was an action figure.
Yeah. There's a lot of bits of this episode where I'm like, oh, that's a lot more thought than they probably needed to go to.
Yeah.
Particularly with, we'll get to a bit later, with the recasting of Rita.
Yep.
Was handled very cleverly.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this episode on the moon in particular.
Yep.
I assume what's happening is the guys are in Australia to shoot the film.
Yep.
My understanding is that the plan was that they would shoot the film and not shoot any episodes while they were in Australia.
Yep.
But there was some kind of major disasters with the shooting of the movie.
Oh, they had to do reshoots or something?
Had to reshoots and they, like, sets weren't built right or on
Right.
time, so they couldn't start shooting. So what happened was, because the shooting was delayed,
Yep.
they thought, we'll just shoot what we can while we've got these guys here.
Yep.
And make do. And, you know, they've done a fine job.
And I suspect what has happened was they got the actors to shoot a few bits in Sydney.
Yep.
And then the bits in that we'll see with the Rangers later are just people in suits
Stunt
in
doubles,
LA.
yeah, absolutely.
And they just got them to dub them.
Yeah, you know, like last week and the week before where they were mostly kids and they
Yep.
were mostly... There's a couple of shots that happened in LA probably afterwards
Yep.
to fill in the gaps, and then the rest of it is stunt guys. But I actually really think setting a lot of stuff on the moon this week...
Is a clever solution.
It's both a clever solution and really refreshing.
Yeah.
It's those guys haven't really been characters in a while.
Absolutely.
So let's get back to... We're at the Opera House.
Yes.
We're, like, outside the Sydney Opera House.
Sydney Opera House. Once again, very close to where I work and something I see every day of the week, basically.
Yeah, I just like I could go and stand exactly where they're standing.
Yeah.
It's a really weird feeling.
We should probably get at least one photo of us in that place from that same angle, and then we'll put it up with a photo from the episode.
Yeah, I'll see what we can do. We can
That'd
probably
be cool.
do that. Yeah. So Bulk and Skull are playing with a little toy kangaroo.
Yep.
Yeah, there's just like a shot of a ferry, and I know that I've been on that ferry.
Yeah, that specific ferry.
It's just
It's weird.
it's really weird, and I'm
Like,
still not.
I'm
ready
sure
for
people
it.
who live like in LA and stuff like that.
Oh, they see that shit all the time. Yeah.
But we live in Australia. Stuff doesn't happen here.
No.
Like, we sometimes watch Superman Returns and we're like, hey, there's Martin Place. But that's about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, when they shoot stuff here, it's like a big deal, and everyone
Yeah.
goes on about it.
Yeah.
It's weird to see something. You know, I'd have been 3 or 4 when this is getting shot, so I don't know that this is happening other than like intellectually.
Yeah.
To actually see those guys there.
And it seemed to be around that period of time and a bit later on was when Sydney was the place to shoot for a
Yep.
little while. Like, Mission Impossible 2 was a bit later than this.
But about the same time, I think. Yeah.
Probably another 5 years or so, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. Early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was a cool place
Yeah.
to be, you know, for a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
while.
absolutely.
And there's you saw a lot of Sydney on film back then.
Yeah.
But these days, not so much.
Not
so
a lot.
it's a weird experience for us.
yeah.
Yeah. So Rita is on the moon.
Yes.
And she walks in miniature form to the castle, which I guess confirms that it has a door. which we weren't sure about previously.
No.
And then we cut to inside, and we see another character we haven't seen in quite a while.
Oh, boy.
It's Finster.
I think you skipped a couple of bits.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
So-
get back to Finster.
We'll get back to Finster. So we see Lord Zedd's rejuvenation chamber.
Yeah.
So Lord Zedd is lying on like a coffin-shaped bed covered in red satin sheets.
Yep.
With beakers and Bunsen burners and miscellaneous science equipment bubbling behind him.
It looks cold. I wanted to put a blanket on him.
I don't know what those things are called, like a sphere with electricity that...
It's not even a sphere, it's like a plate.
Yeah, but it's like a plate and it's
Yeah.
got his Z in the middle.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you touch it and the lightning goes to where you
Yeah,
touch.
yeah. It's a great little room.
You get it from the Discovery shop.
We see the Rangers eating at a cafe.
Can I say about Lord Zedd?
Yeah.
It's weird to see him lying down.
Really weird.
And I can't articulate exactly why. But him lying down just doesn't look right.
It's because you can't quite fathom how it is that he stands up with all these weird metal...
bits. Yeah, he looks very prone and vulnerable.
So yeah, the Rangers are eating at a cafe up at the harbour.
Yeah. Wolfies, I believe.
Bulk and Skull order some lobster.
And they say it in an Australian accent like lobster is a thing we order a lot. Is that a stereotype? I don't know.
It's really weird seeing what people think Australian stereotypes
Well,
are.
like at their restaurant on the waterfront, on Balkan Skull's table, there's just a boomerang sitting on the table. We don't eat with those. That's not an implement.
Yeah. You guys know we know about knives. I know you know we know about knives, okay?
Because Crocodile Dundee had
You
one.
haven't shut up about the knives for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know we know what knives are.
Yeah.
Their Australian accents are not terrible.
I mean, yeah, it's, compared to
Well,
some.
here's the deal. Their waitress's Australian accent,
Yeah.
far worse than
definitely.
either of theirs.
Could they not just get an Australian waitress?
It feels like it is an Australian actress.
Yeah.
But then it's just been dubbed later for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They couldn't just... There were no Australians in Hollywood in 1993. Because there's about 6,000 of them now.
I mean, the actors on the show weren't union. I can't imagine there's anything stopping them from slipping a waitress a 50 for saying a few lines on camera.
Yeah. Alright, so there's weird lightning in the sky, which
Yes.
is Rita coming back.
Yeah. I don't know why that makes lightning, but that's
No.
fine. She doesn't go past Earth, really.
They ask if they should be worried about it, but they kind of go, Alpha and Zordon.
Adam asks, very formally, like, is this something we should be concerned about? And everyone's like, nah, mate.
It's just, like, Alpha will get in touch, Zordon will get in touch. It's not
Yeah.
something to worry about. So they ask how they're going to get all of their souvenirs back.
Yes.
And Rocky says, how about a tugboat? To which Tommy goes, a tugboat! And then the most awkward laugh.
So awkward.
It's just...
It's because it's not a
No,
joke.
it's not a joke.
It's like they were looking at the ferries and thought the ferries were tugboats, and that was part of the joke, but they're not. They're like water buses. They're for people.
It's not a joke. He's not reacting to it like a human being.
No. It's weird.
It's weird. So Finster.
Finster's
Time for
back.
Finster.
Yeah.
I've missed Finster.
He's a good guy.
He is.
I feel like he's just misunderstood.
Yeah, so he's groaning about the good old days.
Yeah, me too. Know how you feel, buddy.
Yeah. And then he sees Rita.
Yep.
So he makes her large again with a laser.
Yeah.
She stays with her face pointing away from the camera for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see Finster.
It's good to know that he was just there making monsters the
We
whole
might
time.
not have seen Finster in like 40 episodes.
Yeah. He's an auteur, man. Like, Lord Zedd wasn't asking for monsters, so he just stayed there and made monsters anyway.
Yep.
Wasn't getting paid for it, just what he does.
Yeah.
He's living his truth.
Yeah. So, Rita wants a love potion.
Yes.
This is part of her plan. She's going to make Lord Zedd fall in love with her
Yep.
and marry her. Mm-hmm. And then they can rule the universe together.
Yep.
Now, neither of them have succeeded in ruling the universe yet.
Yep.
So, it's a bit of a bold step to get to... It's not like he already rules the universe.
No, but, like, she's almost succeeded once or twice. He's almost succeeded once or twice. Put them together,
Wouldn't
maybe.
it be good if they could make the monsters grow double
Twice the
glands?
size. Yeah, that'd be great.
So...
They strap other grenades to her staff when she throws it.
So she wants the Power Rangers, presumably their heads on a stick,
Yeah.
to be her wedding present to Lord Zedd.
Yeah.
And she can't wait for them to come back.
Yeah.
So they're going to use Alpha 5.
It's really interesting to me that she wants a good wedding present, despite the fact that she's drugging him
Yep.
into loving her.
Yep.
It's like, sure, I'm going to, like, fuck with your brain chemistry to make you love me, but I want to get you a good present.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know...
I'm not a bad person.
I'm not uncivilized. So Alpha's just out wandering around the desert,
Yeah.
complaining that the desert is too deserty for his liking.
Yeah, fair cop.
So he picks up a flower,
Yeah.
taps into the morphing grid, and
Yeah.
kind of sprinkles the flower,
Yeah.
and makes more flowers grow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That feels like a drastic misuse of the power of the morphing grid.
Well, I don't know about misuse. It's kind of like, he should have been doing that more. Why isn't he, like, reseeding?
Flying over, like, Namibia and
Yeah.
countries that are...
They need to strap into a crop duster. Send him across some places that really
guess
need it.
The idea that the morphing grid can be used for things other than transforming into superheroes and powering giant robots.
Yep.
Maybe you could do that a bit more?
Yeah.
So, Finster and two putties teleport down.
Sorry, can I just say?
Yeah.
Do you think that Alpha has that power? Because it's his job to go and fix all the ground that the Megazord stomps all over
I
after
mean,
battles.
that is an only explanation,
like,
isn't it?
it's just wrecking the environment around Angel Grove. So every night, Alpha has to go out and just reseed everything and get it growing again so it doesn't become a barren wasteland.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, Finster and two putties teleport down. The putties grab Alpha's arms, and
Yep.
Finster puts an evil CD into
Oh no,
Alpha's
he's
back.
got to get out hacking CD and he's back.
Why does Alpha even have a CD slot in his back?
He needs to glue it up. Because it's just a problem. It doesn't stop being a problem.
So Alpha goes back to the command center.
Yeah.
And I think evil would be a strong word.
I would be pretty evil.
He's nefarious.
Definitely. And he's got attitude.
So
Not
Alpha's...
like teenagers with attitude, actual
Yeah.
attitude.
Zordon says that he's detecting unusual behavior.
Yeah.
To which Alpha says, "Who cares what you're detecting, you big floating head?"
That's so good.
Alpha being evil is brilliant.
It's so good. It's what everyone wanted to say to Zordon for so long.
And guys, if you think that's the best thing to happen to Zordon this week,
Yeah.
you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that in a sec. So I think they're in Gosford, the Power Rangers. I think there's a sign that says Gosford.
Yeah, I don't know why they'd be in Gosford. Don't know why anyone would be in Gosford. Just as a broad statement.
So they're buying, they've got some souvenir time. Kimberly mentions a brother?
Yeah. What?
Did we know?
We'll just drop that one. No, I don't think so.
Anyway, so Alpha calls the Rangers back to Angel Grove.
Yep.
To an abandoned theatre in downtown Angel Grove.
Yep.
He shuts off Zordon's communication.
Yep.
And also mutes him locally.
Yep.
So Zordon can't warn the Rangers.
Yep.
The theatre, we learn, is a vortex.
It's also not a theatre, by the way. It's just a creepy old house.
Yeah,
There's
well-
no stage.
No. It's a vortex, Matt.
Yeah.
And that means the
Oh,
Power
fuck,
Rangers will
vortexes.
have no power there.
Vortexes
I
are
mean,
a problem.
They can be morphed,
Yeah.
so they do have some power there.
They have the power to get dressed.
And
You know-
they can teleport in.
Yeah.
But they can't teleport out or summon their power weapons.
You can't summon their power weapons.
Presumably can't summon the Megazord.
Yeah. Yeah, in a bit of a bind. It's a creepy place, too. There's, like, clown heads on the banisters that look at you with flashing red eyes.
So, the clown head on the banister, swivels and
Yeah.
the doors lock.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's so dull.
This was all shot in a way that this show isn't normally shot.
No. It's Dutch angled and fog machines and...
And lots of close... this show has gotten very sort of static in the way that it's shot, and it's always long shots generally.
Yep.
Of action in wide open spaces, where this is up close.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and another reason this episode is so jarring compared to others.
Something interesting, Matt. The exterior shots of the theatre
Yep.
are from Kaku Ranger.
Ah,
So they're from next season's Sentai.
there you go.
Being used a little in advance.
There you go.
Because I guess that was easier than filming their own shots of a spooky building.
We have those in Australia. They could have grabbed one.
Yeah, they could have.
I mean, they were 2 minutes from the rocks. There's lots of old buildings there.
So, on the moon,
Yep.
Finster has presented Rita with some of his moon mud.
Uh-huh.
That will...
Some good stuff.
It'll make Rita look young.
Yep.
Finster says that it will make Lord Zedd flip his galactic cookies.
Which is my new favourite expression, by the way.
It's like... Flip his cookies is not an expression.
Isn't it?
I don't think so. What does it mean? You don't flip cookies.
I know, like, if you say you toss your cookies, that's throwing up. And if you flip your lid, that's going crazy. So maybe it's like getting so excited you throw up in space.
Lord Zedd has a thing covering his mouth.
Oh, it'd be gross.
It's just...
It should be our tagline for the show. Ranger Danger.
Flip your galactic cookies.
No, it'll make you so excited that you'll throw up into space.
That's not an appealing thing. That's not something people want.
Well, like, as an end result, you don't want it. But don't you want to get to... like, don't you want to be that excited that that happens?
Not really.
I want to be that excited that I throw up in space.
So Rita looks young now.
Yeah.
And look, here's the deal. The original Rita actress was a Japanese woman.
Yeah.
Who I presume they didn't even bother trying to get for their show.
No.
So they found a woman who looks similar to Rita.
But about 50 years younger.
Is considerably younger than Rita.
Yeah.
So they've used this moon mud to de-age her. Yeah, sure.
Oh, I thought it was really clever.
Yeah.
Like, it would not have surprised me in the slightest if they just recast Rita and didn't mention
even
it.
bother. Yeah.
Like, that'd just be this show,
Yeah.
you know? But they thought about it, and it's a pretty cool solution.
Yeah.
So,
And
thumbs
this
up.
woman will play Rita for like the next 5 years.
Yeah. On and off.
Yes,
But,
certainly.
yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for some reason, Zordon can talk again.
Yeah.
Alpha does the best thing we have ever seen on this podcast by just miles.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So he starts by putting a moustache on Zordon.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fucking around with the controls and basically opens up the MS Paint application.
Then a flower crown around his head.
It's like a lei, but like on his head rather than around his neck.
Then like Captain Planet hair.
Yeah, like
spiked up,
blue hair.
like flat top.
Yeah.
And then a pair of glasses.
Yeah, like half moon glasses.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Was that a thing that we could do the whole time?
I guess.
Did it just have like Game Boy camera?
Yeah. I don't understand why Zordon didn't give himself hair. Like, Alpha makes a point about Zordon being bald and like calls him like shut up baldy or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he is. I never really thought about it, but he's a bald guy. And he has like he could have just Donald Trumped himself. Give himself like a big mop of hair.
There is no reason that Zordon has to look like anything if that's possible.
No. I mean, at least have some sagely looking glasses and a moustache, because why not?
It's so good.
Go nuts, man.
It's just so good.
I love the idea that this program, like this virus that Alpha has, doesn't make him do specific things. It just like unlocks his inhibitions.
Yep.
And Alpha's known the whole time that this cool functionality is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's never been able to do it. So he's given this opportunity. He's going to cut loose.
Do you think Zordon knows that's happening?
Yeah, I think so.
You think he's aware in his time?
I like to think that he can see like the things on the
outside
tube.
of his tube.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool. And Alpha getting frustrated about the equipment never working and kicking it.
Yeah.
Kicking the console and then it exploding. I thought that was really funny as well. Because that's pretty good meta commentary on the fact that that console seems to explode more than it doesn't explode.
It's just... It's crazy, like, dumb things.
Yeah.
That this show has never done before.
Yeah.
It's just...
It really is like someone new was writing the show and they hadn't been told that they had to be shit. You know? They hadn't got that memo yet.
I mean, this episode was written by Shuki Levy, who'd written many episodes before.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe, yeah. Because they were tight for time. They didn't have time to make it shit. Like, that stage in the process was cut out.
You know what? I don't know that other than those exterior shots, there's any stock footage in this episode.
No, that's true.
So, this is another one of those things where in this entire episode,
Yeah.
they're just writing an episode of television.
Yeah.
They don't have to have, at the 17-minute mark, a giant monster.
Yeah.
They're just working with, some restrictions. Our actors are in Australia, so we can only use them in a couple of scenes and that sort of stuff. But
this episode did kind of remind me of Beetleborgs in a weird way.
yep, I think part of it is the spooky house.
Probably, yeah. But also just the way that it's shot a little differently, and
Yep.
it's not quite as structured, and it has a little bit more fun with it, with the conceit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
really good. Just some really good stuff. So Rita uses the love potion.
Yeah, she sneaks up behind him in like a little window behind his bed and looks at him and is like, sheesh, can you imagine having to wake up to that every day? Which immediately makes me think of Rita and Lord Zedd having sex, which is something that I never wanted to think about ever. But the show makes text now. It's laid out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's an evil space witch and he's a skinless monster. So
boy.
there's that. Enjoy. And yeah, slips them love potion.
I'm sorry, you didn't mention, so she's behind this window.
Oh, yeah.
She ducks down.
Yeah.
And immediately, in a way that I genuinely don't know how they did it,
Yeah.
pops up much closer to the camera.
Oh, it was totally just like they've cut two shots together.
Probably.
But it's very clever.
It's just a great little comedy, like,
beat.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's
good.
Some good shit.
Yep. Oh, yeah, so she slips some love potion into his IV, and then lets that bubble away.
Yeah. So Finster's made his own wedding present.
Yes.
A bunch of Rita's favourite monsters.
Yep.
So there's Invencible Flytrap.
Yep.
Sockadillo.
Yep.
Eye Guy.
Yep.
Pexter.
Yep.
Grumblebee.
Yep.
None of my favourite monsters.
But they're all, for the most part, very creepy looking monsters.
Yep.
So when you throw them into the evil haunted house with the fog everywhere, and that weird music and song that they're all singing, that's a pretty creepy ending to the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So they all kind of teleport into this weird haunted theatre, whatever it is.
Theater in air quotes.
Yeah. And surround the Rangers. Rocky tries to summon the power sword.
This is so great.
He yells power sword and holds his arm up like he normally would.
Yeah.
And the sword just doesn't appear.
This is peak Rocky for me. Like, that's Rocky in a 3-second dot gif,
Rocky trying to summon a thing that he uses all the time and that didn't.
I mean, it's pretty literal impotence on Rocky's part, isn't it?
So
Just can't summon his power sword.
they're stuck against like a monster each.
Yeah.
Don't have their weapons.
Yeah. Presumably aren't as powerful as they normally would be.
I mean, they do have their blade blasters just at their hips.
Maybe they won't work. Who knows?
I mean, they've got a sword mode. I don't think swords require power to work.
Maybe they're like electric razors, The power comes from vibrating.
I mean, Tommy has Saba,
Yeah.
hanging off his belt visibly.
Saba's dead now because Saba has no power.
Aww. And that's where
The jaw's just hanging slack open.
That's where we cliffhanger.
Yeah, and do you know what the song the monsters were all
No,
singing
I
was?
got
It was
nothing.
weird and creepy. It was like weird chanting. Yeah, it's like if I was a kid, I'd be pretty distressed by that ending. Yeah. And that's it.
I mean, here's the deal.
Yeah.
This show cannot possibly hold this up over 2 more parts.
Definitely not.
It-
100%.
It never has.
Like, based on the data we have.
if it does,
Yeah.
this will be the first time.
Definitely.
But, boy, what if it does?
Look, I'm very excited. Based on that, even if the next 2 parts are shitty, which they probably will be, I'm happy to have
was
that.
a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the Rocky Aisha Adam scale,
This may be our first Adam.
that's not our first Adam. I think
Isn't
we've had
it?
Adam. But this is definitely an Adam.
Yeah.
We should go back and record those, figure out, have a database of...
Yeah, I probably should have written all that down.
Oh, well. Now we know.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely an Adam. No new monsters, I don't think.
No. All old monsters.
Yeah. But maybe, based on their performance next week, we'll adjust them. Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, some of them might do a little well.
Yeah. And that's it for this episode.
Yeah, I guess it is.
God, I hope next week is this exciting. It's good to be excited.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this was a good episode. Dino Charge is back. We've got 2-year anniversary coming up soon. It's a good time for the podcast.
Yeah, so speaking of,
Yes.
rangedangerpodcast.com/survey.
Yes.
Survey's still open. It's open for another couple of weeks. It'll be open until the end of the wedding.
Yep.
So you've got 2 more weeks.
That's right.
But make sure you get in on that if you haven't already.
Yeah, remember, we want to make the podcast that you want to hear, but we can only do that if you tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah, we're not psychics.
No.
No. Matt, where can people find us?
We have a website, Michael. That's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com.
Yep.
You can find the creature feature there. You could find our archive, all sorts of cool stuff. We also have a Facebook where there's always a lively discussion going on that you should be joining in on. So find us on Facebook. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube and TuneIn. If you want to send us an email, you can send that to rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. We love getting your emails and reading out questions.
Getting emails.
I really do. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. We love hearing from you guys. And also Twitter. Twitter's been a bit more active lately, which has been cool. We're at RangerDcast, where we like to hear from you guys on there. We like to interact with some of the other Power Rangers podcasts on there. It's a good time.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a mug or one of the other great things we have, go to www.rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop.
Yep.
Mugs, shirts, all sorts of cool stuff that I really recommend with some great, unique artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check that out. And we will be back speaking in your ear holes next week with part 2 of The Wedding.
Yeah. We'll probably be back on Wednesday for Dino Charge.
Of course.
We're
Yes.
recording a little in advance, so we may actually not be. But there'll be announcements on the Facebook of what our schedule's like and all that sort of thing. So,
Particularly over the next few weeks. Just check your feed.
Yep.
We'll be back quite frequently.
Yep.
So we'll talk to you then.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.